What is going on, guys? I am Alejandro Mendoza, and this is the third and final part on my full review of Digimon Adventure Tri Symbiosis. Now, before we get into the video, here is one more hint for what the Halloween special is going to be on. So, in my previous video, I stated that the subject that the Halloween special will be on is about Digimon, and that it's a terrifying video in the sense that if you were the one making it, you know that even if you execute it perfectly without stepping on anyone's toes, it would probably still get a lot of negative feedback. And as for today's hint, the topic, while like I said, it's going to be about Digimon, it's also something that you can find in basically any anime community. Like in almost every, if not all, anime communities, whether it be, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, whatever anime you watch, you can find this topic within them. But yeah, that's your guys' hint for today. And one more thing, I really quickly want to ask you guys what you thought of my review on Digimon Adventure Tri Symbiosis. Since this is obviously the first time I've ever actually reviewed something on the internet, I was wondering if you guys could tell me what you thought of my review. Basically, like, did you like it? How could I improve my reviews? Just giving your overall thoughts and critiques on my review so that in the future I can improve my videos. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get into the final part of my review on Digimon Adventure Tri Symbiosis. So, in this last episode, we obviously kick it off from where we left off last time, where all the Digidestined were tying the others were basically questioning, who their real enemy is, and basically what they're fighting for now. And right now they're obviously chasing after Mekumon, and who's fighting Jessamon right now. And at this point, obviously Mekumon and Jessamon are fighting, and at one point in the fight, Mekumon hits Jessamon, and it propels him towards Mako. So Jessamon's about to land on top of Mako and basically kill her, and obviously all the Digidestined are worried about this. But then out of nowhere, Mekumon hits Jessamon and hits him out of Mako's path basically. And this makes all the Digidestined question, did Mekumon just protect Mako? And for basically all of them, they're for basically all the Digidestined, they're saying yeah, Mekumon did protect Mako. Now we have to save her more than ever because she's still in there. And I mean, I get why they're saying that because it's obvious Mekumon hit Jessamon away, but honestly for me I'd be more on Joe's side of things, where he was wasn't Mekumon just attacking Jessamon. I'd be more like that because I get it, they want to be hopeful, this is and it could be obviously that Mekumon obviously still is inside there, even though she's gone all ballistic and crazy, that somewhere inside is still the real Mei-chan, and I get why they want to be helpful, but I'd still be, for me personally, I'd be more on the fence about more thinking maybe Mekumon was just attacking Jessamon. But moving on from that scene, we have all the Digidestined saying we have to get the battle away from the city, to obviously not cause any more damage or to harm people. So they're planning on leading Mekumon and Jessamon to the ocean, where there'll be obviously less damage. So all of them, they obviously all go Mega, except for Gatomon, who can't go Mega as of yet. And the Digidestined are just obviously following their Digimon and following the battle. But we get to this scene, where as they're running, Homeostasis possesses Kari, and it's telling them all to stop. So before we even get into this scene, I just want to say that I do enjoy this scene, but I do have some problems with it, and I'm obviously going to get into them right now. So what happens is obviously Homeostasis possesses Kari and is telling all the Digidestined to stop all their foolish actions and to just let Homeostasis kill Mekumon. And at this Tai and the others are just saying how can you say that, Mekumon is our friend, all we want to do is protect her, what's wrong with that? And Homeostasis responds with I just you guys right now are just obstructing harmony and peace, and right now I'm just trying to do what you guys couldn't. And here Homocysis also says like, you know, like if you continue to get in the way, I'll remove you just like I'm going to remove Mekumon. And like all the Digidestin like not all of them, but like some of them like, you know, have like really good lines in this, like Daigo, like he's like you know, don't like when like Homocysis says that like that they're going to be removed as well, like Daigo basically says like, you know, don't give me that crap, like, you know, these kids and their Digimon aren't your pawns, like, you know, basically just saying like, you know, we're not your servants, we're not your puppets. And you also have Tai like saying like, you know, what's wrong with caring for our friends, all we want to do is just protect them. And then we get like this awesome scene with Kari, like just this really good awesome scene with Kari where she's basically like, you know, fighting against homeostasis and saying like, you know, get out of my body, you're not welcome here anymore. Like, you know, because like homeostasis is saying that sacrifices are necessary to attain harmony and peace. And Kari at this is like, you know, like saying like, you know, like there shouldn't be sacrifices ever, and like it's just telling homeostasis off. But homeostasis is still like keeping her position, like, you know, saying like, you know, like you know, you guys like need to stop with these like feelings of friendship and of teamwork, because like, you know, they're obstructing your view to see the bigger picture. Like, you know, if you continue to do this, then the world will end. But like, you know, and eventually like, you know, homeostasis does leave Kari's body, and like, but like, you know, she obviously says that before she leaves, like saying like, you know, leave your thoughts and feelings of friendship behind and look at the bigger picture. And also another thing to note is that throughout that whole like inner battle between homeostasis and Kari, like there's a shot of Dark Jedi hovering over them like Spider-Man, and he's just like, you know, like just like smiling smugly, like looking at the whole like conversation between them, the whole fight. And yeah, like this whole like that makes me really wonder then, like cause like that would mean that like obviously Jedi somehow like got into Kari's mind basically. So then like does that mean that Jedi really is Yggdrasil? Because like at this point like it seems like he's going to end up either being Yggdrasil or like some very powerful Digimon. Maybe Piedmon. I'm hoping. Maybe I don't know. Like maybe I'm being too optimistic at this point. But like yeah, like it really seems like, you know, that Jedi might be Yggdrasil, or might be, you know, some other very powerful being at this point, because like, you know, he somehow got into Kari's mind, which is just like, you know, like only really like homeostasis has ever possessed Kari. So yeah, like, you know, that's something like that I want to find out about. In addition, like, you know, like I still obviously want to find out about what the heck happened to the O2 cast. But like this is also something I'd like to find out about. But the O2 cast, I really want to find out about that even more. But got a bit off topic there. Sorry about that. But with this scene, like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good scene, a good character moment for Kari, Daigo, and Tai. But I had the big problem I have with it is that I just felt that it was kind of rushed. Basically, like the whole like confrontation with homeostasis, I felt like that it should have been a much longer scene. Like it shouldn't have just been like, you know, like this like very brief like confrontation that like only lasts for maybe like 2-3 minutes. It should have been like a lot longer, because first off, homeostasis, like I've said it before, but is a god, and like, you know, like homeostasis obviously like knows who the Digidestin are. Like homeostasis is the one who chose them in the first place. So you'd expect like homeostasis to like, you know, bring up like a much more like compelling argument in a sense, like, you know, like to be able to actually like sway the Digidestin like into thinking like, you know, maybe not like get them thinking like, you know, oh, we have to kill Mekumon, but to make them actually like, you know, question whether or not they should kill Mekumon. Like, you know, like it's like to basically like, you know, like to make it seem like, you know, not as clear cut as they're making it out to, because the Digidestin, like, you know, they're thinking like, you know, like, oh, like we have to save Mekumon, she's our friend. But like, you know, I thought that homeostasis being like, you know, a god and knowing the Digidestin, like, you know, like, and who they are basically, should have been able to bring up like a much more compelling argument to them, like because like we even like in Adventure, like when like obviously Ty and Matt were fighting, homeostasis like possessed Kari and stopped the fighting, and then like was able to show them like all these flashbacks like of the past, like about why they were chosen, like basically what their purpose was, and like she just like showed them all these things, and because of that, like I was thinking about during this scene where like the Digidestined were confronting her, were confronting homeostasis one more time, that it would be something like that where homeostasis possesses Kari and like like has all of them like go into like the world like that they were in before, like a bright light emits from Kari, and like it pulls all of them like into like basically like Kari's mind basically, and like it begins like showing them all like these flashbacks of the past, and like showing them like why they were chosen, and that right now like like if they continue to do this, like the world will end, and like basically like showing them like if they don't like fight, then the entire world will end if they don't kill Mekumon, and like just obviously like I know I'm kind of skipping over like I'm not like I don't think I'm giving too good a job of like detailing it, but like I'm just trying to give the gist of it right now. Like I'll go over like something like this in the next video I plan on making, which is like basically me saying like what I would have done, like what I would have done to improve Digimon Adventure Tri Symbiosis. Like in another video I'm gonna like say like how I would have changed the movie in order to do so. But like yeah, that's the basic gist of it, is that like just like have homeostasis like give this like huge like a speech, or like this huge like just like this huge thing that like really makes Ty and the others question if they should kill Mekumon. Like don't just like have it be like like this super brief interaction like where homeostasis is just basically talking about like oh harmony this, oh harmony that, and like just have homeostasis be like much more intelligent and like be able to sway the Digidestined in her, like her favor basically. And but yeah, like that's my major problem with it. And like it also like I said, it felt kind of rushed. Felt it should have been longer. And the whole thing with Dark Jedi, like that's interesting too, and that's really making me wonder: is he Yggdrasil? But yeah, moving on from that scene, we have Jessamon like grabs a Mekumon and opens up a portal into the digital world. So the portal is closing. So Ty and Matt DNA Digivolve Metal Garurumon and War Garurumon into Omnimon or Omegamon, and Omegamon manages to keep the portal open long enough for all the Digidestined to obviously get through the portal. So they go into the digital world. They begin fighting against Jessamon and Mekumon, and Jessamon is just like completely like wrecking all the Digimon. Like he just like when Anjumon like obviously tried to use her celestial arrow or holy arrow, like Jessamon just like knocked her and Rosemon aside. Like he's just like kicking the crap out of all the Megas, like except for Omegamon. So yeah, the fight's starting, and then like as it's going on, the Digidestined are on the ground, and they're saying basically like like do you hear us homeostasis? We don't care like if what we're doing is right or wrong. We're just going to protect our friends, and like you can't stop us basically. And at that, Daigo remembers when he was a Digidestined, and back when they were first back when he and Maki were first chosen, he's remembering that time, and like we also see that he has that his partner is a Baramon, so that's neat. But like yeah, like very good speech from Ty basically, and like that's really cool that we get to see a piece of Daigo's past basically. So as they're like saying this and as the fighting is going on, eventually Alphamon shows up, like out of nowhere too. Like he like all of a sudden like the sky just cracks and he pops up, and yeah, so like it's really seeming at this point like who knows, maybe Alphamon will end up being like a good guy or like an anti-hero, but it really seems at this point that Alphamon really is working for Yggdrasil. Like even Matt was like like when Alphamon showed up, he was like saying Yggdrasil. And like obviously this whole time, like in the first movie, Alphamon was going after Mekumon, so like it really just seems at this point that Alphamon is working for Yggdrasil. I certainly think he is, And obviously Jesmon's working for homeostasis. And once Alphamon joins the battle, it's basically now the set match is basically it's Alphamon versus Jesmon and Omegamon versus Mekumon. And what really solidifies that is at one point Mekumon is trying to attack Jesmon, and Seraphimon gets in the way trying to stop Mekumon. But what happens is after Seraphimon is able to temporarily stop Mekumon, just grabs Mekumon's punch basically, but is unable to what happens is that Alphamon goes to attack Jesmon so that they get out of the way, and the clash between Alphamon and Jesmon just causes this huge explosion across the sky that just knocks all the Digidestined Digimon back into their in-training forms except for Omegamon. So now it's just basically Alphamon versus Jesmon and Omegamon versus Mekumon. So all the Digidestined get their the ones besides Omegamon, they have their Digimon now in their in-training form, just watching the battle, and throughout obviously Mekumon's going more and more ballistic, and the Digidestined are basically unable to do anything at this point. Usually they can only stand by and watch. Kari, she says to Mekumon, saying Mekumon, don't make Mako suffer anymore. But other than that, there's it's mostly focused on the fight right now. And really quickly, we also I think I might have skimmed it, or maybe I'm past it already, but we also get this shot. We also get the scene with Maki, and she's in the Dark Ocean. Now that obviously makes sense for Maki to be in the Dark Ocean. I mean, she's obviously feeling a lot of despair at this time, just a lot of negative emotions, because obviously Tabermon doesn't remember her, and she's just falling into loneliness and despair. And as we know with the Dark Ocean, that's what really brings you there, is when you're feeling a bunch of negative emotions, that's what pulls you into the Dark Ocean. With Kara, she was obviously when she was first pulled in there, she was feeling inferior to Tai, and she was just going into this despair basically. So it makes sense for Maki to be there, but it's still kind of random to put her there. Basically the Dark Ocean, I feel, was kind of put there just to kind of be fan service in a sense, just to please the fans. But it does make sense, like I said, it doesn't have to be fan service, but it was just kind of added in there. So what happened with Maki is she's she turns back, and there's all those weird black gooey Cthulhu minions, I don't think they've ever been given a name, but those minions of Cthulhu, basically of Dagomon, they're behind her, and she's saying don't get any closer to me, but she's just falling deeper and deeper into despair, and eventually the waves overtake her, and she's just drowning in darkness now. And as she's drowning in darkness, Daigo thinks back to Maki, and everything that's happened with her, and he is thinking all this he's thinking how he feels I was never able to save you, Maki, and he's also wondering why in the world were we really chosen then? And this scene's really nice. Obviously the Dark Ocean was kind of put in there out of nowhere. I mean, like I said, it makes sense, but it was kind of put in there out of nowhere. And the whole thing with Daigo too, really like that as well. What was after this? After that scene with Daigo, we have Mako who's just watching the whole fight, and eventually she's basically had enough of seeing Mekumon actually attack her friends, and just of seeing Mekumon in pain now, because Mekumon is no longer in control of her actions and is basically just suffering basically internally. Mekumon Mako sees that Mekumon is suffering internally, and it's at this point that she just she tells Tai and the others, she asks them to kill Mekumon. And all the others at this, they're very, obviously shocked. They're, saying, she's they're Mako, no, we can't do that. She's your partner. and like they're saying like like we can save her, like don't give up, like you're her hope, like you guys are each other's hope, so like don't give up. But like Sora realizes that Mako being in despair, like Mako like saying like to kill Mekumon is her hope, like like that the destruction of Mekumon is what Mako wants, like it's her hope for Mekumon. So like Tai, who's like been looking at the scene the whole time, like thinks back to like what Mako was saying about like how she loves Mekumon, and he obviously decides like like before anyone else, he's like okay, yeah, we'll like we'll stop Mekumon, we'll kill Mekumon, because like that's what you want, like that's what we have to do. And obviously like everybody's like kind of in shock at this, like like they all have like mixed feelings on this. Like Joe like is like saying like Mekumon may be the cause of everything, but she's still Mako's partner, her one and only partner. But like okay, like, and then you also have Matt too, like saying like Tai, like you can't do this, like like hope isn't about sacrifice, like you can't just go around sacrificing your but you can't just go about sacrificing your friends for the sake of hope, Tai Chi. And like Tai's just like saying like you guys don't have to do this, like like I'll just like I'll do it, like I'm going to take this all on by myself, and I'll stop Mekumon. So with this scene in particular, again, I know I'm probably saying this a lot, but I enjoyed this scene. It was a very good scene. But okay, like the problem I have with it is that they're in the digital world, okay? Like they aren't in the real world anymore. They are in the digital world. So if they kill Mekumon will be reborn as a Digi-Egg, and like then like maybe the virus will still be in her, but like it certainly won't be like as advanced as it is right now. And like it's like like they're in the digital world, so they shouldn't really have like this like huge hesitation to actually kill Mekumon. Like I get why, because obviously like they say Mekumon is Mako's partner, but it's like you're in the digital world. If you kill Mekumon, she'll come back as a Digi-Egg. So it's like, why are you guys hesitating so much? I mean, you guys didn't hesitate when freaking Imperial Dramon showed up, and like Ken showed up. Like, yes, it was Dark Jedi, but they didn't know that at the time. And it's like they even recognized it. They were like Ken, and then like also with Imperial Dramon, they recognized Imperial Dramon, and like logically, they probably come to the conclusion that that this is Davis's and Ken's like Imperial Dramon, like it's Vmon and Wormmon combined together. But they didn't hesitate then. Like and when they were fighting Imperial Dramon, they weren't even in the digital world. Like they were in this like this data place. Like it wasn't the digital world, but like it was just like this place like kind of filled with data. And they killed Imperial Dramon. Like, but like now that they're in the digital world and they're facing Mekumon, for some reason they're like oh no, we can't kill Mekumon, even though she's caused all this stuff, and like she's obviously and we're in the digital world, so she'd be reborn. And it's just like okay, like I said, it's a very nice scene, but that was just kind of like I just felt like they shouldn't have been so reluctant to kill Mekumon, considering like how they've been throughout these past few movies, where they're willing to kill Imperial Dramon, and they would likely assume that this is like the same Imperial Dramon that Davis and Ken have. So it's just, yeah, like I mean, they know that obviously Mekumon would be reborn, but okay, like enough of ranting on that. Like I just felt like they shouldn't have been so reluctant to kill Mekumon. Okay, so after like enough of that rant. After that scene, we get a shot Omegamon manages like to pin Mekumon down, but like it doesn't really last for too long, and the ground beneath the battlefield like is cracking now, and it's at this point that like Megamon escapes like Omegamon's grip, and what happens is Jessmon is like charging this like mega super attack, like all the Digidestin and all the Digimon are just like watching, and he's like charging this attack. I think it's called Un Portaros. I think that's what it was called. And like he's charging it, preparing to fire it in order to destroy Mekumon. And down on the ground, Mako is like she's obviously still very depressed, and like but like what she does is like she stands up and she's like she thanks all the Digidestin, and like she's like thank you, like for thank you for like deciding to help me to kill Mekumon. And like she just like stands up and like she's thinking about all the good times with Mekumon and them, and she just like runs off into the battlefield, like like basically like shouting Mekumon's name, like I guess like to basically like be with Mekumon one final time before she's killed, because like when she was running off into the field, like that really like came off to me as like like her kind of like I said, like wanting to spend one final time with Mekumon, but it also came off to me like as like she like kind of feels like that she deserves the same fate as Mekumon, considering like they're both partners, so she wants to like hold Mekumon in like, or like have Mekumon with her one final time before like everything ends basically. So as she's running out, like Tai and Matt go after her, but like none of the others like are able to chase after them because Daigo stops them. And what happens is Jessamon like finally launches his Un Portas attack, and like as he fires it though, Alphamon like hits him, and like it sends the laser like like it sends it across the entire battlefield. Like it starts hitting the whole battlefield, like not just like one specific spot. And it misses obviously Mekumon and Omegamon, and like after this like we don't see Alphamon and Jessamon anymore, because like like Jessamon just like smacks Alphamon. Like we don't see them for the remainder of the movie after that attack. So yeah, like another really good scene. I'm sorry if I'm saying that so much, but it was a very good scene. I really felt like that emotion, like when Mako was like saying like please kill Mei-chan, and like like saying like and when she ran off, like I really felt like all those scenes like with Mako, like that just felt like so impactful. It didn't feel like it didn't like I said, it just felt like very impactful, very emotional, and I really just enjoyed that scene. So like the blast like hits, and it causes like the ground beneath the Digimon to begin cracking, or well, not beneath all of them, but beneath Tai, Yamato, and Mako, who were like the closest to the blast. And what happens is like Tai and Matt, like they're on two sides now, like because the battlefield is cracked, so they begin running to like try and outrun the falling battleground. But like like Omegamon's going to save them, but he can only save either Tai or Matt and Mako. So like Tai like looks towards Mekumon, like kind of has like this kind of telepathic conversation with him, and what he says is that like he just like nods towards Omegamon, and like Omegamon goes to save Matt and Mako. And also sorry for that beeping noise, like if you heard that was the phone going off. I'm sorry about that. It's supposed to be off, but okay, sorry about that. If you hear that, sorry about that. So yeah, like Omegamon saves Matt and Mako. Tai like is trying to outrun the falling ground, but he's unable to, and like Daigo, like he goes in and he tries to like obviously catch Tai, like to get him to keep him from falling, but like in the end both of them end up like falling, and like none of the others like know where they are. Like like it's just like Daigo tries to catch Matt, Daigo tries to catch Tai, but like like just like the ground falls beneath them, and they like we don't see them for the rest of the movie, and at that point they're supposed to be presumed dead. Like I mean, like okay, like maybe Daigo could be dead. I mean, like it is a possibility. I mean, I don't think he's dead, but like it could be. As for Tai, we know that Tai isn't dead. Come on, like he's like obviously like the leader, and like we even see him in the next like for the poster for like the next movie. He's on there already, so we know that Tai isn't dead. But like obviously like the others do think he's dead. Like Sora like says Taichi, and like all of them are basically in shock at this, and like Kari is like the most in shock. Like she's like big brother, why? So that's where it really did come from there, like from Tai almost dying. So like like she's like walking forward just like in a very robotic way, in a sense, like Gatomon, or her in training form, I think it's called Nyaramon, like she's like trying to like help Kari, but like like there's like this like kind of barrier preventing her from actually helping. So like Kari's like walking forward, and like she's saying like I need to be at my brother's side. and then that's when all of a sudden this like dark purple data begins to envelop Kari's body, and like Izzy like looks on his computer and like he just like sees like all this like random stuff. Like I'm not sure how to describe it, but like he can tell that something is happening, and Kari like eventually like the dark data on her body like goes off of her and like it goes into Niaramon, who then proceeds to warp Digivolve into Ophanimon fall down mode. And after that, we have like the scene where obviously Mekumon and Ophanimon fall down mode merge together into this like I'm not sure how to describe it. It's just this very large humanoid figure with very gigantic wings. Like I'm not sure how to describe it, but I believe that its name is called Ordinemon. I'm not sure, but I believe that's the same. It's called Ordinemon. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. That's what it's called. And what happens is Kari like throughout this whole thing is like like she's not acting like herself basically. Like she's not acting like she's not like crying or anything. Like she's just like a kind of like a robot, and it's like a robot in a sense. Like she's saying like all these things. Like she's saying like disappear, all of it disappear. And at this point, it really seems like she's possessed. And we also even get this like shot of Jedi, who's like saying like the one who's more gentle and the one who's more I guess fragile in a sense, like is the one who breaks the quickest or something along those lines. I can't remember the exact dialogue, but like Jedi's like saying that, and like at this point, it really seems that like we see like Jedi in like darkness as well. So like. Then does that mean that Jedi possessed Kari? Like, I mean, like, that's what I think it meant. Like, that Jedi has possessed Kari. And if that is the case, that, Jedi has possessed Kari, then, like, that adds to the fact that Jedi is likely then really Yggdrasil. So, like, if he does turn out to be Yggdrasil, I mean, that'll be cool. I mean, I would have preferred Piedmon, but Yggdrasil's fine, too. But, like, yeah, it really seems that Jedi has possessed Kari at this point. And also with Jedi presumably possessing Kari, then that also seems like something really similar to the D Reaper from Tamers. Like when a Jerry was obviously taken by the D Reaper, and the D Reaper was feeding off her negative energy, and it even created a clone of Jerry that was with Takato and the others. I think we're gonna get a situation very similar to that. I mean, obviously, the Kari we have right now isn't a clone; it's still Kari. But it seems like it's gonna be something similar to that, where Jedi has taken over Kari, and she's her negative emotions are what's fueling the dark digivolution, basically. And are what keeping it is keeping it together, basically, because Kari seems to be in control of the fusion between Ophanimon Fall Down Mode and Mekumon. So, with this scene was another really good scene, but just like the homeostasis scene, I do have another major problem with this. Kind of a major problem, but I do have a problem with this scene, but it lies in the fact that that with Kari obviously being in shock and making Gatomon Dark Digivolve, this scene, I understood it, obviously, I understood why Kari made Gatomon Dark Digivolve. It's because, she was in shock at the loss of her brother, basically, or, at Tai dying, in quotation marks. But, I understood it, but, I didn't really feel that emotion. How how I said with the Mako scene, where, she was saying, please kill Mei-chan, I really felt that emotion there, because, it had been, set up throughout all these movies, that eventually, Mako would have to make this choice about what to do with Mekumon. And when we finally came to this scene in Symbiosis, I really felt that emotion with Mako, because, it had been set up throughout all these movies, and, I really enjoyed that scene with her, because, it had been, it wasn't something that came out of nowhere. It had been set up throughout all these movies, and it just felt really impactful and emotional to me with what happened with Mako. But with Kari, there was, literally no setup. There wasn't, like I'm not saying like like there has to be like foreshadowing like oh Ty's gonna die, but like I mean like there wasn't like any like relationship like building a relationship shown between Ty and Kari really, because like if they had like gone into the scene like say like in Symbiosis like they added a scene where it was just like Ty and Kari and they're talking and like Ty just like says something like to Kari that like really impacts her and like like it makes her like like admire her big brother even more. Like if we had a scene where like it really showed their relationship, like then I feel like the emotion so much more like when Kari was making Gatomon Dark Digivolve. But since there wasn't like in this movie like there might be like maybe a few like brief scenes like but like they don't even like say like when they're calling their parents, but even then like that was just like a really brief moment. Like, it didn't really like show their relationship. It was just like kind of there. Like if they had like that's what I felt like it that I feel like I'm repeating myself, but and I'm sorry if I did, but like I just feel that it should have been like set up so much better. Like they should have like had a scene where Ty and Kari just like talking and like it just shows their relationship, because like then I just would have felt the scene so much more, because like I understood it like I said, but I just like didn't really feel that emotion when Kari like made Gatomon Dark Digivolve. I didn't feel like that just like emotion that like I feel like I should have felt for like Kari when she presumably like lost Ty when Ty is presumably dead. I just feel like I said, they should have set it up a lot better. So okay, like enough of that rant. Like let's go on to like the final parts of the movie. So Ordinemon, like she enters the real world, and like all electricity is basically going out, and Izzy like is talking about like how now the digital world is going to consume the real world, and everybody is just like all kind of like in distress at this point. Like Mimi's crying, they're all in shock basically. And what happens is Matt picks up Ty's goggles, and like he turns to everybody and is like like everybody stand up, like we can cry later, like right now we need to save the world, like we can't save anything. What what is crying gonna do? What is yelling gonna do? Like we have to stand up and be strong right now. So like it's him like taking command, because like with Ty gone, like somebody has to. And like I mean like I did like it because like it shows like Matt is like I mean he's like going to like he's not just going to like stand by and like let the world end, but like I just felt like like that it was kind of like Matt was kind of being a dick about it, because it's like Ty had just presumably died, and like he's like saying like all of you get over Ty's death already. And like even with Koromon, like Koromon's his partner, like he was like looking down the crevice and like calling out for Ty, wanting like Ty to come back. Matt was just like Koromon don't, like this, like saying this, and I get it, like it was obviously Ty's decision to have Omegamon save Matt and Mako and not him, but still like Matt was just kind of being like just like really mean like throughout this whole thing, like just saying all of them like suck up your emotions, and like let's just move forward basically. So yeah, after like Matt gives his speech basically about like how they need to move forward and be strong right now, like they can cry later. Like the movie ends with Matt putting on Ty's goggles and like all the Digits and like looking into the real world basically. So with that last scene with Matt, like I said, like I thought it was a good scene, but I felt like it also was like very just like made Matt come off as kind of a just like as just kind of a jerk, because he's just like like I'm the leader now basically, like like all you guys just need to like get over Ty's death, like I'm the leader now. It just kind of came off as that. And like I mean it was good for Matt, because like obviously right now they can't be crying, like they have to do something to save the world. But I felt like that there should have been more emotion in the scene, because like I said, like even with Kari, like Kari was obviously in like shock basically, and I could understand that. But with all of the other Digits, like the only one who cries is Mimi, and like I feel that like all the Digits, and like not just Mimi but all of them, like should have had like some emotional reaction to Ty dying, or like like not actually dying, but presumably dying, because like like just like have like a flashback scene, like like say Izzy like remembers like of the time when Ty like told him like about like what happened with Kari when they were kids, like have like each one of them like like remember like a time with Ty, like when Ty really helped them, like TK, when like obviously like he was having that fight with Tokomon, like when Tai came, like have TK remember that, like just like have all the details and like remember a good time they had with Tai and like make it like a much more emotional scene. Like don't just like have them like like get over it like super quickly. Like actually have them like maybe like just like look down or like break down a little bit at like at the loss of Tai. But yeah, ultimately that was a really good scene, and this episode in general it was a very good episode despite my flaws with it. I mean, like I said, it could have been way better. It could have been like so much better, and I'm gonna go in detail into that during my next video where I describe what I would have done to make Symbiosis better. But overall, I did enjoy the episode, and despite my faults with it, it was really good. And for Symbiosis as a whole, like if like for what I think about Symbiosis as a whole, like I would just say that I enjoyed it. Like I have a lot of faults with the movie, but I ultimately enjoyed it. Like I said, even with all its faults, it was a good movie. Although like the faults just like do like kind of annoy me because I felt like that with all the time they have, they should have been able to like fix any of those. But maybe that's just me. Maybe like Toei just was just like oh screw it, like we're not gonna have any setup for any of these things. We're not gonna have any emotion. Let's just go. Like, well, I mean, there was emotion, but like more emotion, like between like the Digidestin and Tai's death, in quotation marks. But yeah, ultimately, I enjoyed Symbiosis. I had a lot of problems with it, but I'd say like I enjoyed it. I mean, the faults with it like do kind of make it less enjoyable for me, obviously. But like and heck, I'd probably even say like there's probably more faults than pros in Symbiosis. Again, like that's just my opinion, but I feel there's likely more faults than pros in it. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. Is there really anything else I need to say? Anything else I need to talk about? I don't think so. Like I said, overall, I'm sorry that I'm repeating this over and over again. Like God, Jesus, man, I need to stop repeating myself, but. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie, despite my faults with it, and yeah, ultimately, that's going to be the end of this review. So, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like, and if you're enjoying the content I'm producing, maybe consider subscribing. And if you are already subscribed, then thank you, you're awesome. And even if you aren't subscribed, I'm grateful that you watched the video and you're still awesome. And yeah, just like leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Like, did you agree with what I had to say? How could I better improve like these videos? Just overall, give me like your thoughts on it and your critiques of it. But once again, thank you all for watching. And actually, wait, is there something else I need to? No, okay. I think I'm good. So yeah, just leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And yeah, like tell me like if you agreed with like my faults with it. Like, do you feel like I was correct? But yeah, ultimately that's gonna be the end of the video. I'm Alejandro Mendoza, and I will see you later. Bye.